Good afternoon. This is your MrTacpans's 15 minutes if I have enough to show in today's work. What I did today is I had to go to Mont Tremblant and help out somebody. So I made sure I put on my winter socks, my long underwear, my long pants, and a heavy sweater. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm pretty smart because when I got home, after I took all those clothes off, it felt cold out. See what I'm eating? Time. Yeah, I'm eating time. I'm also using it up, and you're wasting yours watching me. This is the MrTacpans's hour. I wish he'd be quiet for a minute. He hasn't shut up. So if you ever see me stop talking, it's all because of him. It's not my fault. It usually is when I work on my own, but I'm not working on my own. You know what happened to me today? I was thinking. The spade, okay, the spade ace, it shows all the suits in the deck. And I'm thinking, when you look at the king, okay, it shows on the tic-tac-toe the 2, 5, and 8. It does not show 4, 6, 1, 3, 7, and 9. And where the 5 is, it has a half of an egg. That's the transfer station. Okay, so I'm still not sure whether or not what the spade was all about. But if you look at the Rubik's Cube here, okay, I'm going to be jumping around. There's 3 rows, okay, 3 rows of 3 of 3. It's supposed to add up to 27. But there's one of them in there that doesn't move. The 5 position in the chord doesn't move. Can we say that's the sun? Okay? Because I was thinking, the animals went onto Noah's Ark 2 by 2. So how did it work? How did they pair up? Was it Mercury and Neptune? Water, water. Was it Venus and Uranus? Was it Earth and Saturn? 3 and 6, creation of man. And then there was 4 and 5, Mars and Jupiter. But Jupiter is supposed to be all alone. So that scenario doesn't work out. Now we're getting back to the spade jack. Because he has one eye, okay, and God had to be one of the 4 suits, I'm thinking that the diamond suit was not actually a suit at all. But it was more of a suit that I call the skins of the heavens. The primary matrix, the red matrix. The matrix that gave birth to us, that created the red hearts of the black spade and black club of the heavens. So the diamond jack shows an egg. So that egg might be us down here, and not when we turn up there. When we go back up, I'm going to be making a couple of shirts and hats, designing what our suit will look like when we go back up. What else did I have to say? I wrote something down here. Yeah, I saw on a car it said G6, the G6 Summit, the G6 this. Is it possible that everything is a 5? Okay, even God. Okay, but the difference is God has to play many roles. So he has to add on suits, okay, and he has to create spirit. He has to be a part of all that spirit in order for the formation to connect to mankind. Otherwise it won't. So it had to connect to him first, okay. I'm thinking that the exterior of the matrix is knitted up all in black. And that's why many times when we go out, we see the forms on the outside of everything is black. And the other matrix would be the white matrix. You see, when I'm talking about beta blue, okay, beta blue is where the beta works, okay, and the beta part of the heavens, okay, would be white. The same thing when you go to the horse races. The thoroughbred horse, the number 2 is white. Thoroughbred heaven, standardbred earth. So the 2 on earth would be blue, just like in the horses, and then you see the white. Oh my God. The mist that rises from the ground. It turns the clouds white. Now we get to see it. And then it rains on us again, bringing the purity of the celestial down onto the earth and in through us. And in the process is how we live. I have a funny feeling that it's the yellow matrix, okay, which is owned by the universal soul, soil, dirt in us that can transform. You see, in the soil, there's always metals, heavy metals. There's rocks and pebbles and rocks that roll, and metals rust. And we need the water in our formation for our consistency. So therefore, if we rust inside, we die. The other thing I was thinking about, okay, is a female at 45 years old, she ain't got a head of hair like me. What do you mean a head of hair? Where is the hair? I got the head. You don't call the clown figure, okay, hair. Now we really look like God. Yo, bozo. B-O-Z-O. Bozo, the two eggs of the beta, of the Z of the God, 2-6, which is the earth, and it's the two worlds of 6. Man 6, God 6. We always have to find equality to God to live in that certain world. It changes all the time for the worlds we move. Don't forget, there's the one world, okay, where the egg of man inside the woman meets the sperm of man inside a man. 1, 2 worlds, that's part of you. They meet together, they create the third egg, which is part of you. You are born, it's your life, and then you die. So the actuality of the 3 balls, or the 3 hearts, that are on the club suit, okay, are actually our lives. Let's take it in general and fix. One of the balls, okay, is used for our birth. One of them is used for the birth of our angel. That's why you have a ball on the club up here, and then one on the right over here. Now you have a stand. One stands in life. And then on the other side, okay, of the cap, of the club, is another ball, our rebirth in the heavens. But you can't look at it that way, because if man goes from east to west, what has to happen is the stand, okay, which would take up the 8th position in tic-tac-toe, we have to go down there to die. So that ball on the other side is our angel and us running on earth. The other one reborn into heaven, and our death down at the bottom. Let me get back to the hair, okay? Women still have their hair. Something to do with bubbles, something to do with air, something to do with something. There's no space left. No space left in the head of man. That's why he loses his hair. What is it underneath the skin that's stopping the hair from growing? Okay? Should we be eating and trying to be more like a woman in our body? Women live 2 years longer. They keep their hair at least 20 years longer. They have more patience, and they have to grow up with the kids, and they got to go through 30 days a month, always with something in their body. Their body is changing. It's too hot. I have a hot flash. Oh, I think I'm pregnant. They always have something in them other than money. You know what I'm saying? You see, without the money, it's hard to function in this world. Even if we move into the next world, unless this changes, the money has to be there. Because we have to have an acceptance of exchange. Oh no, mine is worth more. No, yours is worth more. So we have to open up an exchange bureau in order for someone to say, okay, you have to bring 3 of these, you bring 2 of these. Well, that's just like money. Once you separate the value of 2 things, it's like money. Poubelle. It's a garbage can. You have it on the computer. The poo is lice. Poo-poo. It's bell. But it's not bell. Bell is beautiful. There was something else I wanted to bring up. Wow, there was a lot. Yes, the diamond matrix connects to the red heart. The club female who creates everybody. And then you see the female club is on the king's hat and the queen's hat of all the suits, but not on the jack, because the jack has got that, what I say is an unfinished hexagon that connects to the jack of our angel in the heavens. So the king shows the maiden queen. The spade ace, and I'm not going to get to that yet. What else I wanted to talk about is that 8, okay, that the 8 of heaven. In all actuality, when we're living life, it's actually the 5, okay, because that's the position we go back and forth, up and down, and all the animals. Wow, there was something that was very funny I wanted to tell you, besides about my ex-wife. Oh my God. After she left me, she lost 170 pounds. She went over to this guy 2 months later, lost another 170 pounds. She goes over to the third guy, loses another 170 pounds. She weighed 120 to start with. When she was with me, what happened? It's very simple. Each one of her boyfriends weighed 170 pounds, and she got rid of all three. She was still 120, but she was better off at 120 the third time than she was the first time with me. Anyways, I'm not talking about MrTacpans's because he understands. He knows. If you believe in something else, a God, you believe in a God, well, I'm with you. I don't have to believe in your God. I'll check out what his terms are all about, and I'll regulate it, because for some reason it seems like all gods seem to have taken in consideration the 10 basic rules of life. You know? Respect. Respect. She sang it, and we must live it, but we don't. This world is supposed to be about respect. This is the correctional world, where the soul learns about all these things. We can't move up a level if we haven't learned it inside the soul of who we are and passed it on to our next of kin. It's 25,625 years since the Mayan said that this certain star was in the sky, and then later found out it was a planet. They called it Jupiter. Jew, pie, Earth. Cutting up the pie of Earth. That's what it's all about. Anyways, the train is still rolling down the tracks, and now we're going to go to the Spanish train. In the Spanish train, Christopher sings, "The train is running still in the dead of night." Well, if it was the dead of night, the train was running still. And they hushed the children back to sleep. Were they on the train, or was the train not moving? Were the children the ones who had died to be reborn again? You see, when the devil comes in to take the souls, he took 10,000 souls and went up to 59. Hey man, you can't go up to 59. That's a spirit angel birth, and that's already in heaven. So he can't do that. But he went to 59,000. So he's talking about the three worlds of 5 and 9. The 5 spirit angel and the 9 birth. The only thing he can take if he's taking the souls of the dead is they're dead. What does it mean to be dead? You see, in God's world, what it means to be dead is no more life. But in God's world, there is life. He doesn't take the dead with him. He takes what's in the one who has just passed on, because it's the passing of the on that goes on. The devil can win all the souls he wants. And you know what? The devil is said to be red. What is his outline? Have you ever seen Hot Stuff, the comics? Well, he's red. The red matrix. Okay? You smoke a cigarette. Okay? The yellow turns orange. Have you ever manipulated colors to really understand how all the colors turn? In which way they turn and how they get that way? I smoke a cigarette, I light it. The fire comes out, it's a gas. It's orange. When I smoke that cigarette, the same gas is not in my lighter as is in the cigarette. But yet I still get the orange. The ashes burn off to gray. Black and gray. Then the cigarette goes out. And if you don't watch out and you smoke too much, out goes the light for you too. But don't worry about it, because the dead died. We just pass on. But if we have not learned enough, or if we're in the secondary dimension of this tri-semestral world that we live in, okay, I'm not sure if it's third world or second world, because it's the beta world, which is 2, but the third world of creation, we're reborn in the heavens. Now, if I say we're in 3 worlds, how many would I be counting? 4. Your angel started with you. You never start with less than 2. How many games do you get to play with your friends? You have to have at least 1 friend to play 2 games? Or you need 2 games to play 1 friend? No, if you want to play and you have no friends, you use your angel, your own imagination to move yourself on and on and on and on. Anyways, there's a song I listened to today. They talk about deuces are wild. For sure they're wild. They're wild in the heavens. They're creating all kinds. And they're wild on earth. Let them cats rock and roll. We're the dogs of this world. We put up with a lot of garbage. Let me tell you one thing. My time is up. I have done this 15 minutes, which I never expected. I didn't even read my notes for today. I'm still with you, world. We're out to save. You've got to start somewhere. I made a few videos. I'm beginning. Let's just do it. If we can't get the government on us, guess what? We'll create our own gang, our own group, and we will pick this world up and we will carry it away to the sky, to the castle in the sky. Have a good afternoon.